And then on the 15th, he did a project, the Bachong Balancing Rocks film documentary. And then, has anybody gotten tired yet? I mean, this is unbelievable how this man travels the world. So we're lucky to catch him tonight. But believe me, we were all. It's got to be something just off the wall. So he'll be calling in a minute, I hope. So he went to the Temple of Volcanic Cliff. It's called Gandadia, Granite Megalith, New Dabia, and filming documentary. The 17th, and then back into Hanoi for a lecture, 14th to the 17th. Back to Bangkok, and then to Melbourne, Australia on the 18th to 19th in April. Melbourne, Australia, and he went to Anti-Gravitational Hill in Woodend, and then he went to visit the Aboriginal sacred site, Hanging Rock, documentary filming about the Shrine of Remembrance and other things. Then he flew to Melbourne, Ayers Rock, Australia, and he did the Aboriginal sacred site, the Uluru Base Walk, filming a documentary. Then the Valley of Winds Walk, flights, Uruburu, Brisbane. Then he went to Gympie Pyramid and Uniting Church Megalithic Wall, and he did a lecture in Brisbane, April 18th to the 21st. Then flew back to the Melbourne Carroll Cost Centre, 16th to the 19th. That was the Brisbane-Melbourne flight. From there, he went on the 29th to Beijing, and then back to Beijing, Vienna, Sarajevo. Let me check. While I'm on run screen reading, I have to go check on the other one. Now, May, goodness sakes, he went to Sweden, Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria, Arena Group with Slovenia. That's a big Vysoko 10 museum tour, and then KCOR in Las Vegas interview on the 4th, and then talk to groups at the park in Ravne, 15th through 17th. Then journey to prehistorical Turkey tour, goodness, 17th to the 26th. And then Istanbul, Hyperdrome, Obelisk, and Archaeological Museum, the Blue Mosque in Turkey. And then on the 19th, man, he went to Göbekli Tepe, yay, the megalithic site. Who doesn't want to go there in Turkey? Mad, you've studied that a little bit, right? What?
That'd be awesome. I'd love to go there.
Me too. Then he went to the Mount Nimrod tumulus, and then Kul Tepe, Kanesh archaeological site, Qumran and the Karum tablets, Cappadocia underground cities. So he's doing all this research, right, comparing what's in the hills of Bosnia, and we have all these underground like Göbekli Tepe and all this, comparing it to like 30,000 years ago. But you know, he's gotten an archaeological, what do they call those artifacts out of Bosnia, and they did a carbon dating on something that came out. I'm not sure what that is yet. He may share it with us. And then the Hattush Hittite Kingdom in Turkey, and Gordon, capital of Phrygian Empire, Ankara Anatolian Civilizations Museum, all around Turkey. So he's been doing all this investigation in May, and he did a radio podcast, guided tour of Mohaji's group, park. Went back to Bosnia on the 28th, the last 3 days. He had to do a town hall report to the city where he promotes Bosnia on the 31st. They wanted to know, what you been doing, Doc? So that's what he did. Then in June, he had a guided tour from Hungary, and that was for Mohanji's group. Then that was June 2nd, and then a meeting with Cantonal Prime Minister. He's he has a big global ambassador position, and he met with Bosnia meeting deputy mayor on the 3rd, and then guided tour for German group again, and with television and TV, so the Stardust Express with Angelica Simpson on the 4th. Then the guided tour from Norway, and then another group at 4. So he had one at 11 in the morning on the 7th and one at 4 o'clock in the evening for Croatia. And then a lecture in the park, 4:30 to 5:30 for an hour. And then a host from a group from the USA came over to Bosnian pyramids. So he had to do a guided tour on the 10th and 11th. And then he guided tour that came in from China and Singapore and Japan that afternoon, and 13 to 15:30, so 1 to 3:30. Then, oh goodness, then he goes and he does Hotel Hollywood, and then big summer solstice festival, the 16th through the 23rd. So that's a big thing for people to come in from all over the world, folks, into Bosnia. So he's the big, I guess, organizer of that and leader. And then they have a lecture on the 17th there at the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, and then the Tunnels Park, Ravne 2, on the 18th. So the tunnels they were cleaning out through this pyramid of cities, through the 5 pyramids, from what I understand. Then he had a Sarajevo RTV, Bosnian Federal Radio, then festival and fair, and then filming 5 documentaries. I wonder if he caught the fact that he may come on the I'm getting into July, but let me look. Still not here, because I had changed it to 8 and then back to 7 when he said no, he had already had it scheduled for 7. So I wonder if he's going to be here at 8. So that it'll only give us an hour, but I can't reach him because his phone's busy, and his Skype. Usually he'll always answer me immediately wherever he's at in the world. I don't know how. It's an extraterrestrial connection. Ahmad calls us kindred spirits, but Dr. Sam and Ahmad have been like my closest, I don't know, friends in Skype, and we talk a lot, and we go a long time, but the minute I push the button, he's there. So I call it my ET connection. But then it looks like he did a Troy dance show in July at the end. We were just here doing all this stuff in July. He had 5 documentaries to do in July 4th through the 5th, and then he went back over to Belek 10th through the 22nd. He was doing the Bosnian Pyramid YouTube TV shootings. And then he had a radio interview again on the 12th, and then ancient Greek and Roman megalopolis in cliff temples, the Bishop of Myra, St. Nicholas Church, and Kokoba Island, ancient Roman houses. Wow, that was pretty heavy. Then the dance show at the Aspindos Arena. I wonder what kind of dance show he does. Ahmad, can we remember to ask him? I'd like to know what he does on the Troy dance show. Maybe he dances. I don't know. Then the 20th. I don't know. That's something we haven't covered yet. But
that might just be the radio host. That might just be the radio host's name.
Oh, okay. Then Pamukkale, Hierapolis, Greek and Roman city, Cleopatra's pool. Whoa. Then on the 25th, he goes back to Bosnia for the tour for the Chinese delegation. My goodness. Then the 25th, another radio, and then the 30th, guided back to Polish journalists for Lazzik Matilla. Then we're in August. This is where we show up, our group, our ACO club, our ACO association, our TJ CT radio. So he had a radio interview on the 1st with Earth Ancients with Cliff Dunning. That's a friend of ours. He does the morning show, 8 to 9. And then he did a 10 a.m. group tour that 8th in Visoko, and then a lecture. So he got to stay there, I guess, in Sarajevo, Bosnia, 1st to the 15th. Then on the 16th, he had to go to Canada, Montreal, and then Quebec. We said Quebec, where I lived, but most, I guess, Ahmad, do you say Quebec or Quebec? How do you say it in Canada?
It's Quebec. I'm from not far from there.
Yeah, because you grew up in New York, and we said Quebec, didn't we? So I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, that's the way they say it, too.
All right. Well, that's where he was in August Now, here we're getting down to we're going to track him because he could still be on the airplane today. But it says Montreal, Canada, the 44th International Conference, Hotel Doubleday by Hilton Montreal on the 19th and the 20th. So today is the 21st, Ahmed, and it says on his calendar, flight Montreal to Houston. And then he scheduled me on the same day. Well, this may be the problem. It says the 21st, Houston, USA, radio interview with Teresa Morris, in quotes, TJ Morris, ET Radio, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. There it is, folks, big in writing right there, August 21st. On the same day, going from Montreal, Canada to Houston. That's not more than, what, a 3-hour flight, maybe? 4, maybe, Ahmed?
I have no clue.
From Montreal to Houston. Of course, that's across the United States.
It's been 40 years since I've been on an airplane, at least.
Yeah, you're a little off on the timing then, I guess. Well, tomorrow he's with our good friend Bruce Cunningham that used to do some radio shows with me here on Ancient Mysteries Revisited. And then Houston Sarajevo goes back to his Bosnia homeland for the 26th to the 30th because he's filming Like a Shot TV the end of this month, 26th to the 30th. Well, I'm stuck in there, folks, and you have to book him like a year or two in advance. So he and I have been talking for years, actually since 2016. So that's why I was so excited about today, because when I had him booked for the Global Pyramid, Ahmed, guess what happened? Janet Carroll Lesson booked him with her and Karen Patrick on her show. And she didn't put him on my show, but, you know, Janet's a good friend of mine with a Crane Radio, and she was wanting to get it done over there, and I tried to call in and stuff and couldn't even get in. That's sad. So I missed him in 2016, although it's fine because he became a friend of mine. We got to talk because I didn't get to talk to him then. Then he came back and did a show with me, and that was on Cosmos Connection on Revolution Radio. And I lost those files, or we lost those files. And so Janet, I don't know if she has them from 2016 anymore on she told me she lost the files, our files together on the websites. And then we didn't get the files from Revolution. And so here we go. Today is the day. So hopefully, it's like, what do I want for Christmas? I want a Dr. Sam doll. You know, he's got the nicest face, being a Bosnian Pyramid ambassador, and sweetest spirit and good, and I've loved talking to him. And, you know, I've had an interview with him, and it meant a lot today. So all I can think of is maybe since his phone's busy, that he's still on the airplane and somehow it got delayed and he has no way to let me know. What do you think, Ahmed? You think that may be it?
Oh, there ain't no telling. I mean, it could have been something, you know, could have been anything. It could have had, you know, a business call going over. There ain't no telling.
Well, you see how busy he is. Let's look at the rest of this, folks, so you'll know this man is a world traveler.
He's really busy. I've had him on a couple of times, you know, over the years. He's a real nice guy.
Yeah. So the 19th, he goes through the tunnels in the Bosnian Pyramid of the Moon and does a Viva Fest movie projections. This is in September. So he's back in Bosnia doing multimedia hall in the park, tours and conferences for the fall equinox. Now that's the fall equinox is next month, 16th to the 23rd. And so he'll be there, folks, if you want to go to Bosnia. And I strongly recommend it. It's a very, very beautiful country. You can get some sneak peeks. Just put in Sem Osmanagich, and it'll take you to the Bosnian pyramids. Or maybe just put in Bosnian pyramids, and you'll see Dr. Sam, very, very well known, very sweet person, very much involved with humanity and the history of humanity and the journeys we take, and these festivals and fairs as the ambassador of goodwill, public relations for both the United States of America and Bosnia.